Welcome to Shelor Select. The whole system will be ready in a few minutes. Take your seat and enjoy.
Hey, Hannah.
Hi.
So, how's it going?
It's good.
Okay.
Not ready for the snow.
Oh, man, fuck that snow. Anyway, who cares about snow? I was thinking about the first time you and I actually talked. Do you remember?
Oh,
Like
in
a
person?
real, not even in person though, because it was one of the most hilarious things that I guess
Okay, well,
I got or received.
Here's my
And
backstory.
when you slid in the
Okay,
DMs.
all right. Don't pin it on me like that. But the backstory. So I think it was right after Guardian Games, correct?
Could be, sure.
Okay.
I don't know about that part.
I think that's when I got my fame from other people. But you had friend request me on Facebook. I was like, nah, he weird, dude. Like, I don't know him. We have a lot of mutual friends, so decline.
Damn.
And then, but then we became friends on Instagram, and I was like, okay, this doesn't add up. This really does not add up.
Mm-hmm.
So then I think we became friends on Facebook.
That makes
right
zero
after
sense.
that. Yeah, I know. It's just odd thinking, but I'm pretty sure that's how like my train of thought went on my side of things.
Okay. Well,
Now our first conversation, I do not remember.
okay. Well, I was thinking that how it went for me was that when our boy Chad, shout out Chad,
Good dude.
finally moved to Roanoke, and he was working out at Unwritten.
Oh, and we iced him.
Maybe. I don't.
Oh no, I said we stole him.
I don't know. I don't know. You said something about anyway. From what I remember, was that you told me I should start moving up to Salem and work out with both of you,
Oh yeah.
and that I could get a job at Taco Bell. I should just quit everything.
Because they make like $100K as managers. I do remember this conversation.
Okay. That was my
Yes.
first initial. Like, is this our first conversation? Like, actual conversation? Okay.
Liv Moss.
There you go. See, the Liv Moss thing.
I mean, it's true. They make you can make good money being a Taco Bell manager.
But, I mean, where did you come up with that, though? Is that
I mean,
research?
it's a good. I saw it and I was like, "Ooh, I'm a broke college student." Oh, I was like, I'll share the wealth with other people.
But who wants to work? I don't know. I just don't get working at Taco Bell. I guess for $100K, you can do a lot of things, so.
Yes, I just don't get like how the math adds up and like making $100K at Taco. Nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just like don't understand the corporate side of things to where that comes into play.
Well.
That's besides me.
Well, anyway, Taco Bell's neither here nor there. But I was just thought it was one of the most funniest things. And I was like, okay, Hannah's pretty cool right now. Especially with the whole Liv Moss song. I was like,
I mean, that's like next tattoo type material. Liv
well,
Moss.
First tattoo for me?
What? Only one? You have zero?
I have 0.
I don't believe that. That's shocking.
Well, how do you not believe that? I do. I promise you.
I don't know. I just like you definitely seem like you would be someone who has multiple tattoos.
Sorry, just make sure something was going on. Yeah. Well, eventually, when maybe our next stimulus check coming up soon.
Oh, you get that? I don't.
Why not? You making too much cheddar?
Oh, heck no.
Oh.
Because like since I'm so young and I was still in school when the new tax plans came out, I was still a dependent.
Oh. Yeah, I've gotten both of them. My man Trump I guess Trump gave me both of them, and then Biden about to hook me up with another one. So.
I don't get a dime of that.
Oh, well. I'll put it to good use, though. Tattoos, home improvements, who knows?
Home improvements, what do you have to do?
Well, I did my driveway on the first one. I paved it.
How much does that even cost?
Well, for me, I mean, I won't say any numbers here, but it was way more than the actual first. What we get, $1,200 the first time? So it was more than that, probably about 2 or 3 times. But I guess it all just depends how big your driveway is, obviously.
How big is your driveway?
Not very big. You can park 4 cars, but
4 cars, like 1, 2.
Yeah. Well, like
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 1, 2 side by side, like I don't know, like a square.
Like a square.
There we go.
Okay.
So.
Like, and that's like the width, the length, everything, just 4 cars exactly.
Pretty close. Yeah. I mean, we could put 1 in the grass, I guess, and make it 5. But if you want
what kind of cars?
I don't know.
Trucks,
I mean, I got a big truck, and when my friends come over, like Chad and James were here last night, and they were able to park pretty freely. I feel like so. That's 3.
What kind of car is James driving? And what kind of car is Chad driving?
He's got a Scion. I don't want to throw too much of his business out here. It's one of those.
Small little
two-door car.
Be in Fast and Furious, but I'm not.
Well, I don't know about that part, but yeah, I mean, it's a cool little car. I mean, I like him.
Okay.
But he doesn't have like any of that, loud exhaust or anything on it. So.
Oh, so he like played it cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, man. He's been on here a lot. He's one of my best friends.
Yeah, I've met him once at Big Lick. So hey, James.
Yeah, shout out James too. But was he up there with Chad now?
Yeah, it was like, what is he on St. Patty's Day?
Oh, was this before Corona?
Yeah, it was well before Corona.
Or like right when Corona started happening, but it wasn't happening. Sorta. Did you go to 202 with us?
No, I did not.
And
I
Foster
saw
was
you at Big
DJing?
Lick. Yeah, no, I did not. I like pieced out after Big Lick.
Oh.
Actually went to corned beef with a group and then pieced out. But I think it was like right before COVID like hit.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to get the workouts for the competition out of you.
Okay, yeah. So that makes sense. There was so that was pre-COVID, and it was just kind of on the verge, but not as well, quarantine. And so we went up there, but there was like, we probably won't get it, but there's still a chance, we kind of figured. But everyone was out partying. Nobody cared. Hey.
Yeah.
We got
Dog.
Yeah, we got part of the actual the regulars on here. We're getting into a fight, but y'all calm down.
That's okay.
So anyway.
Yeah, no. Well, I think it was actually like during COVID. We just didn't know it was during COVID.
Yeah, no one took it serious yet.
Well, that and like
in my
there was
opinion,
stuff that came out that it had been in the States like in November, that previous November and December.
Is that when it started? Like it was in Seattle, maybe at first. That was the first case. Do you remember that?
I do not.
I thought it was on the West Coast first.
No, I do agree. Like West Coast and migrated this way, but I do know that actually, I don't know. I read articles that they did testing on blood donations, like antibody donations or platelets or something, and they found antibodies in blood that was donated in like November, December of 2019.
So it was so here, but 2 years earlier. Is that what you're saying? In 2019, people had
like 5 months before we went into.
Yeah, so that was 20. So yeah, okay. Now I'm.
No, it's 2019.
No, but like so 5 months earlier than 2020. So that would have been 2019.
Yes.
Okay, because it came out in March. So if you go 5 months back, well, I say March, roughly. So that would be roughly November.
Yes.
Okay, I'm with you now.
Yes. I mean, what was it? Right before Wadapalooza. Like 2 weeks before Wadapalooza, and we flew down.
You went to Wadapalooza?
I did. That was a blast.
Was it?
It was. I was like deathly sick.
Did you have the vid?
I think so. I mean, I've never had the flu. Never gotten the flu shot. My sister's never had the flu. My sister's never gotten the flu shot. Like, our parents just didn't make us, and my mom didn't get them when she was pregnant with us. And I was in bed, like, for 3 days, fever, had a cough for over a month later. One of my professors actually asked me to leave class, like, a month after I was sick, because I was coughing so much. He was like, "You're a pure distraction. Deuces." Like, okay.
So, why not a flu shot? I mean, you just didn't think you needed it?
No, my mom works in a doctor's office.
Okay.
And my dad was an police officer, and so they were always with the public and around things. And between my sister and I playing sports all the time, like contact sports, it wasn't an issue. Like, we didn't really think about it because we were always exposed to things.
So you just thought you were good to go?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we've never gotten the flu. Like, I had strep a lot when I was a kid. I got my tonsils and adenoids taken out because of it, but my sister never really had strep, I don't believe. I get sinus infections, but I've never had the flu.
I agree. I got my first flu shot this year, and I always thought I never needed it. Now, have I ever had the flu? Probably. I remember some nights I had the chills and I'd get real sweaty, but I don't know. But I got it this year. Just I thought it might help with the whole vid stuff and whatever.
I mean, when I get a sinus infection, I do get chills and body aches, and I lose my sense of taste and smell, but that's only there for like a day and a half, and then I'm good.
But that's interesting that you think you may have had it before, like in 2019.
Yeah. But if I told you every symptom, the kicker though was the cough that lasted for well into like a month and a half into quarantine. And I've had bronchitis. I didn't have it this year, but I had it 2 years prior in the wintertime.
Okay.
But never this late or never that late into the new year. So I didn't, but neither of my roommates got sick, which is the big kicker.
So maybe you didn't then, because unless they were asymptomatic, right?
Yes, correct. But then I tested positive for COVID back in October. But I didn't really have any symptoms as far as I know.
So wait. All right. So there could have been a chance you had it at Wadapalooza, maybe.
Correct.
Is that what we're saying? But
no, 2 weeks before I went to Wada.
Okay. But you did test positive in October, this previous October.
Correct.
2020 October.
Correct.
With no symptoms.
I mean, I was congested, but everyone was congested because of allergies, and my roommate was also congested, but she tested negative. I mean, I had to leave my area of living because I had 2 roommates, and they both were still working and everything, and they both tested negative.
So did you get the antibody test? Or you just did the nose swab?
I did a nose swab.
Ah.
I've been tested 1, 2, 3 times, I think.
Damn.
1 time was self-administered, 2nd time was right up, and 3rd time was like all the way back.
How do you do a self-administer one?
You go to CVS in Highlands, and they tell you when to stop through the screen or through the drive-through.
So you stick the swab up your nose, and they're like, "Yeah, stop right there."
Until you think you can puncture something or whatever.
Oh my!
I don't know.
That does not sound safe.
No, it doesn't actually. To be honest.
I mean, well, there's no way that's even. Well, I didn't know that was even going around, or that people were doing it that way. I mean, how can that be accurate by any means?
A lawsuit waiting to happen.
Exactly. Some idiot stick it right up there and puncture their brain, scratch it.
Also, I had to get a rapid test to return to work. And had I tested positive, again, that's another just positive case. I'm not like going on a COVID rant, but
no, yeah, we're fine.
I just think it's interesting that like you test positive once and you retest within the same quarantine to get a negative and you test positive. That's just another positive test result.
So did you do like 2 weeks? And then you retest? When did you retest again? 10 days?
10 days later, because I was asymptomatic. And I came back negative.
Well, they're not, okay. But the accuracy on these things are not 100% though, right?
So I've heard. I don't have doctor.
Well, I'm the same. I'm just going by everything I've heard too, but I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think there's a lot of, I don't know, this year has just been a whole lot of misinformation, and not just like about COVID, but I mean, I studied political science in college. Like that was my major. And on the backside, granted, I only have like a specific amount of years in studying and only a certain amount of classes, but there's a lot of things that are taught and those classes that everyday people don't understand. And not saying the media is either which way, left or right. That's up for interpretation on your end and whoever else is watching and listening later on. But it's never accurate, no matter what it is. Like you have to do your own research. And I think that's where people fall into the hole, whether it's about COVID, politics, or anything. And this year has just been a slew of both. So
you did political science. I didn't know that.
I did.
Why did you go down that road?
Oh, man.
Hit me.
Okay, so like high school, I did not know what I wanted to do. So backtrack, my dad was a police officer.
Okay.
And so I always grew up, I always found that stuff really interesting. So growing up, I was like, I'm going to be a forensic scientist. Like I love that stuff. And I could, granted, just watching TV and stuff, it just like gives you a, like, kind of a what if it is. It's not really accurate about what it is, but I kind of did sciences my freshman year. I was like, nope, my brain does not, like, we don't comprehend numbers. I don't get any of this stuff.
Right.
So then I switched to, I guess, more per se the legal side, assuming that I'd end up in law school. There were a couple of internships. Slowly realized that was not it. Like, really not it. And one of my mentors, he was a huge proponent of me wanting to join. He wanted me to join the PD. And I was like, no, I don't really see myself as an officer. Like, But I took a job that, actually this time last year, I accepted a full-time job for after graduation that I thought was going to be my job. Like, it was a killer job. Couldn't really turn it down. About 5 months in, I was like, this really isn't it? Like, it's not what I thought it was going to be. It's nothing against the people I worked with or who I worked for. It's purely a me thing. So then my best friend was like, I'm in the academy, and she sent me a video of her getting pepper sprayed, and I like cried at my desk. Not because like she got pepper sprayed, but because I knew that I wanted to be something else. But political science, like, it is a hard area, but it opened my mind to a lot of things that I never would have been able to comprehend prior.
You mean as far as like tough topics and tough conversations to talk about, and how your opinion or how you feel on one way, what side of the tracks you're on, I guess? Yes,
and more so like, I don't know, if you study criminal justice, you really study the constitutionality of things, whereas political science, like, it's an analytical mind of thinking things, and like the way you look at it is more of breaking down a word for word basis. So if you pose the question of, do you watch TikTok?
I don't have TikTok.
Oh, okay.
I hear the Chinese were all about that for a while, so I got out of that.
I watch it on a daily.
I see it on Instagram, but go ahead.
Fun stuff. But there's a video that went around, and it was like, if you could kiss your girlfriend for $100 or marry the hottest girl in the world for $800, what would you choose? And everyone was saying, well, I'd get $900 because girlfriend or whatever. Well, like, technically you wouldn't, because the word or is two separate individual things. Like, you can't have both. Like, you get one or the other. You don't get both.
Right.
Like it said and or, that's different. So, like, essentially political science is breaking down what that is, and then being able to understand the lenses that we see things through. So, like, socialism or liberalism, conservatism, they all are paradigms. And so, like, whichever way you sway, your paradigm is how you view every single situation.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying, because I've always had an issue when I'm not a big political talker, I guess, if that's a good word. But in my past, I used to refrain from talking politics because kind of what you said, if you kind of labeled yourself as conservative, liberal, or I guess independent, I mean, maybe there should be a third party. I don't know. But it was almost like, instantaneously, some people were like, oh, you're conservative or you're liberal. Fuck you.
Exactly.
And I was like, well, no, I mean, like, I'm from what we've talked with a bunch of different liberals and conservatives, and I don't care what your affiliation is, as long as you're a cool person, let's talk. I mean,
yeah.
So
no, I do not disagree with you. I think that's been a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's almost one of the cool things that I guess in your tribe or your group of friends that you want to be, oh, well, Sally's liberal and she's liberal also. Well, let me join up with them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, who cares what my values and morals are, just because they like it? I want to be the cool person. And I don't know if that's part of, I don't know, what am I looking for, the narrative now, or just when students are growing up, or not students, but kids in general.
Yeah.
You got to be the cool person, and like, you just go with the flow of everything.
No, I see where you're coming from, and I agree. And I also think it's a conformity thing. Like, you can't have opinions without feeling ostracized, no matter which side you are. Mm-hmm. You're always going to feel ostracized from the right or the left or the third party or far right, far left. Like, nothing seems to be good enough. And one of the narratives that is really construed right now in politics are that, and this has nothing to do with every side you lie on. And I've seen this from a lot of people on the left that say Trump pinned us against one another. Mm-hmm. And like, if that's what you believe, that's fine. But this has been years in the making. Every politician in every which way pinned you against the other, the opposing. It's just so you can read into what they are putting into your ears or making you see, or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just a political platform, political literacy. They feed into what you want to hear, and they know exactly how to play their cards. And I think that's become a huge dividing factor. And everyone jokes about a civil war. We've been in a civil war for more than anyone can fathom. It's
we're in a nonviolent civil war.
Yeah, if you like, my parents always taught me to treat people the way you want to be treated.
Sure.
No matter their skin color, no matter what their religion is, how they talk, what they look like. It doesn't matter. They're still human. They bleed the same blood that we do. And maybe that's really naive of me to say, but my parents never forced anything on me. They let my sister and I really think about who we wanted to be as an individual. And I think, I do agree or disagree with people on certain things, but your opinions are no less validated than mine are. Like, just because we don't see eye to eye on things doesn't mean that mine aren't right per se and yours aren't right per se.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they all mean something to us both. They're from shared experiences that we had as a kid and growing up in our religion, and that's where we base our morals off of. It's basic human morality.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I know kind of what I was going back on earlier that, I have friends that, either don't like guns, hate guns, or hate, I don't know, Trump, for example, like you said. But, I mean, like you said, I'd rather, how do you respect me, or how are you with me? If you're a cool person with me and just talk and chill, and we can debate, and we can have civil debates, that's fine. But we don't have to go into this whole, oh, well, you don't like tables or microphones, well, fuck you then. It makes, hey, we don't, and it's almost that we become so, and I say we, I mean, I'm not trying not to be part of it, but I guess I could be, but so far right or so far left that it's almost people who are, in my view, you get so far left, you're like, are we too far left? You're almost pushing me to go back to the right side now just because of X, Y, and Z factors. And also, another thought that just hit me. I just finished a book called The Coddling of the American Mind. Have you ever read it?
No, but I've heard of it.
Okay. But anyway, so it's almost that we have these helicopter parents now that are protecting their children so much that there was a study done where they didn't want to, I'm trying to put this broadly instead of like try to go detail to detail. All right, so they did a peanut allergy test with kids. I forgot what age group they were. But for parents who are holding them back, like don't even touch a peanut, you can't even be around it, as opposed to parents who are like, yeah, go eat peanuts, see what happens. Who cares? Whatever. It's food. Like, there was so much difference in the can't use my words right now. So much difference in saying, like, for those who told their students to, like, or kids to not eat the peanuts versus the ones who was like to eat the peanuts, they didn't develop any allergies. So it's like almost like, oh, let your kids go out here and be accepted to these, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, be accepted to these different types of contexts and talks and debates, and instead of just holding back, because if you say that, oh, this is bad for the rest of their life, they're going to just refrain from everything, and they'll think they're offended from every word or every situation that would ever happen. So it's so it's like, just go ahead and just let them be exposed to it. See what happens.
Exactly. And, like, I think one of the neatest things about a human is, like, obviously you and I are very different. We look very different. We act very different. We have different aspirations. And no individual is the same, yet we can go through the same experiences and still not come out the same. Because our minds develop differently and think of situations differently. So you can't coddle, essentially, or to try and mold a child into something where their brain essentially, I guess, will stop developing to what it extends to be. That's why I think, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, like, if you go to school, kids come out more liberal.
I've never heard that saying, but in my experiences with higher education and getting my master's and stuff, I was kind of, why do you think that way? Is that because you're being pushed this way through education?
Exactly.
Okay.
Like, I think one of those things is that people assume, and I think schools nowadays do a really good job of showing all sides. No matter whether you go to a liberal arts school or whether you go to a Christian school and whatnot, I think they do a really fun job of being able to express statistics on both ends. And I think kids don't come out more liberal. I think they come out more educated. If liberalism is associated with education, then that's a personal issue, in my opinion. I mean, like, that's just how I see it.
Well, and I agree there too, but not only, it seems like some professors get pushed in different directions and they can't be fully open about their actual thoughts and feelings, and if they're doing experiments and research, just because they have to go with the higher ups and what they're saying and how we want our school to be visualized as.
Yeah.
So it's almost that, all right, so they have to push students in a certain direction just because they're being told that, and obviously by their superiors.
So that actually brings up a really funny point. Not funny, but like kind of.
Okay.
So like my senior seminar paper was it was based around political theory. And what I studied what I wrote about were issues in American education. And I think a huge issue is like, for instance, Common Core subjects. They're really rigid and only push you to focus on math, science, English, and history. They don't really push like the humanities or the arts or personal finance and economics. And that's because it's so rigid, and society wants us to go to higher education to follow through with those. Whereas like there's blue collar jobs that make a crap ton of money. Taco Bell. You make $100K at Taco Bell.
Sure.
You can be a welder, make $100K, and just go to a community school or wherever and get your, I guess it's a licensure or what. I don't really know the specifics on welding, but that not only does that follow through in American education, but in today's world as a whole. And it's kind of sad, if I'm being honest. Like, as much as you can express yourself, you're always going to be pushed back by someone.
No, I agree 100% because the narrative for me growing up was that, hey, if you want to actually make money in life and do something with your life, you have to go to college.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know anything different besides like, oh, yeah, just do good grades, which I never did, obviously. But I was a fuckhead when I was little. But it was,
okay.
I still am, I guess. But, yeah, and then it was after I graduated, it was kind of got the feeling it was like, oh, I could have done electrical work. Or like my buddy Trevor, he's trying to become an electrical engineer, mechanical engineer. And he went to community college and just did his courses or whatever, and he's getting his licensures. And I even have a buddy that welds too, and he makes pretty good money doing that. I was just, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, killer money, and you're not in a load of student debt. And there's a twofold to everything, obviously. It doesn't matter which side you are. And like higher education is good. Although some people think it makes you more valuable as a person. Quite frankly, in my opinion, it doesn't. Like, I think it adds to your education and adds to what you can do. There's always going to be someone that's smarter. There's always going to be someone that can do the job better than you. Just because you have an education doesn't mean you're any more valuable than the person to the left of you that comes into your home and fixes your day-to-day necessities.
No, I agree 100% because I know how I was. And like I said earlier, I kind of was always looking for the easiest road of resistance, especially in college. I mean, I majored in PE, so it was like one of the easiest majors. Like, we just played games all day. And
that's so valuable, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't use it now, but I was trying to become a teacher and go down that road. But yeah, I mean, if you want to get a job like that, obviously you have to do that. But another thing is that just getting your 4-year degree is not enough anymore, because for me, being a teacher, like, oh, you have to pass the Praxis 1, you have to pass the Praxis 2, you got to get the VCLA, VSLA, I don't even remember what that
VCLA.
Yeah, I was like, what? You got to get 3 more certifications that were each another $200 to $300. Yeah,
money.
And I was like, damn, that's just not enough. I spent X amount of money at Radford University. Now I got to do this too, just to say I'm a teacher.
Exactly, and that's. So, like, as much as I want, as someone who is knee-deep in student debt, to have my student debt relieved, it also was worked for. It wasn't handed to me. It was something that I had to do on my own. And it's not something that I just like, hey, everyone gets an education. And that's why education is valuable, and the cost of making it free is going to take what value is left. But, I mean, like, you spend, Roanoke, for instance, a grand total of everything.
Roanoke College, is that what you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I get.
I think it's $61,000
a year
for a year, with tuition, room and board, and a meal plan and everything.
Damn,
So
I didn't know that.
So that's 4 years. What that puts it at? I can't do that.
120 times 2 is 240.
240,000.
Yeah,
close to maybe, like, if you outside food and whatnot, just round up to a quarter of a million. Like, that's how valuable education is. But is it honestly worth it?
Exactly. I mean, what you said. If all right, so $250,000, you come out with a 4-year degree. How many jobs do you expect to get that pays $250,000 a year?
Yeah. Okay. My first job out of college was a good job. Like, I couldn't really turn down. I was making like $50,000, but I had $21,000 worth of student debt. So it's taken me 4 years on just strictly my salary, nothing else.
What was his
So,
job? What'd you come out doing?
I worked at the U.S. Attorney's Office as a paralegal.
Oh. I mean, what does that entail? I don't even know what that is.
The paralegal part?
Yeah. I mean, I know
Just
what attorneys are, but what were your duties then?
Well, I did like archiving and closing files, things. Like I didn't really do much paralegal work in the time that I was there just because there were other projects in the office that needed to be done.
Okay.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I'm still in contact with some of those people at the office, and stellar people. Like, I will never, ever hate on anyone at the office. Awesome people, and everyone supported my decision to leave.
So, going back on what you said earlier, your friend sent you a picture or a video of her getting maced?
Oh, yes.
And so that's what made you want to join the police academy?
Well, I'd always known as a little kid. I mean, I walked around the house in my dad's campaign hat. Like, there's a picture of me because Salem wears campaign hats. And I always wanted to do it. I mean, it was just a matter of biting the bullet. And it's different when people tell you, like, oh, like I remember when I got my job offer. You know Troy Mann?
Nah.
Okay, he's a Roanoke City. I mean, no, get him really. Sorry, Troy, but he won't see this.
Okay. Shout out Troy.
Shout out to Troy, yeah. But he's a Roanoke City firefighter, and we're pretty close friends. And I was just talking to him, and I was like, I have 3 days to decide. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, part of me wants to join the PD, and part of me wants to take this job because you don't really get a job offer like this.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you got to do what you want to do and what your heart desires. Well, I couldn't tell you at that point because I think I was distracted by the idea of, like, not everyone gets a job like this versus what I actually wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made the decision after, like, everyone supported me. Granted, it's quite the day and age to join the academy, the PD, and no matter where you are, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's tough in all 50 states, I guess, depending.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know.
Did you get any flashback from is flashback the right word? Any flashback from your friends because you joined? Like how we were talking earlier, just because, oh, you're going to be a police officer now? Fuck you.
Yeah. No, I haven't gotten that. I mean, that is definitely subject to change. And like I said, whatever anyone decides to say to me is strictly based on their opinion. I can't sway them one way or the other. I would just hope that past that, we can respect each other enough as a human being. Just to say, I see your struggles. I hope one day you can see mine, vice versa. And I think, going back to it, it just seems as politics involved this, and I just think there's a lot of education that needs to be amended, like research and stuff. And I can't explain everything. I don't think any officer or anybody that's worked in any form of law enforcement, whether you're a data analyst or you're a records keeper or whatever, you don't actually have to wear the uniform. You can't explain what they do on a day-to-day basis or what they see on a day-to-day basis. It's just open for interpretation at that point. There's only so much you can say before someone believes you or doesn't believe you.
Mm-hmm. Well, so tell me about the academy. I worked out with a couple different officers and a couple of the state troopers, one detective, and shout out to them. What up, boys? But tell me what goes into detail or through how do you got to be in the academy? What do you got to do? Or a day in the life of Hannah.
Okay, so a day in the life of Hannah, Monday through Thursday.
Yeah. Don't tell me about the weekend part, unless it's wild and crazy and fun.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. Well, Mondays are definitely different because we test every Monday. So.
What do you mean you test?
We have tests from, like, the week's material the week prior.
Like test on what? What are you talking about? I know you're talking to a guy with zero knowledge of this.
Okay, so, like, last week's test, I believe, was on, like, constitutional law and civil liability.
Okay, stuff like that.
Yeah,
okay.
So this week's test is on defensive tactics. So that's what we spent the last week doing.
Did you study?
Not yet. It's on Monday. I still have the rest of tonight and all tomorrow.
Oh, well.
But, so we have that and miscellaneous, investigations. But, so on Mondays I wake up at like roughly 4:15, 4:30, get ready because we typically have to be in formation earlier than normal. But we are dressed out in uniforms, except for this Monday because we have fingerprinting, so that tends to get a little dirty, apparently. So get there, get in uniform. We're arranged by squads. So there's 4 squad leaders, and The squad leaders are on the far right, and then everyone else in their squad, which I think it's 9 per squad, they're in alphabetical order. So, like, my squad, I'm on the far right, and then my squad goes from L to S. And then the squad behind me goes from T to W. But we do that, and so we'll start the test. Depending on what time we got the test, it just depends. Then we'll have lunch. Basically, they're from essentially 6:30 to 5:30. And then we come home, get ready for the day, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I wake up at 5:15, like eat breakfast, do my morning routine, and you have to wear a uniform.
What's your morning routine?
I wake up.
You meditate? Oh,
No,
of course. Yeah, you gotta pee.
I gotta do my morning pee. Then I go downstairs, have 2 Kid Fresh waffles, 3 Johnsonville turkey sausage links, and like 13 ounces of stock cold brew protein coffee. And I take my fish oil. Then I come upstairs.
Okay.
I haven't really been taking showers anymore because I've been taking showers at night. Just like cannot wake myself up.
I'm a night shower kind of guy.
Yeah, well, I can't wash my hair during the week, so it's no point.
What do you mean you can't wash your hair during the week?
Because my hair has natural curls to it, and so it just like looks funky and doesn't stay in the bun if it's not like greasy, which sounds disgusting. But I have to do with it what I can, and this is what I'm doing with it. So then I'll get dressed and get in my uniform. Well, first I'll make up my bed. Then I'll get in uniform, take my vitamins or my gummies, and walk out the house. Deuces. And be at the academy by like 6:20.
Okay. And this is in Salem?
Yes.
They got a huge academy there? I don't know.
I mean, I don't really know what big is or what huge is considered.
Is it like a campus? Like a university?
It's just a building.
Oh, okay.
It's like a decent sized building. It has several classrooms, offices, and a gym. But there's like 38 of us in the academy.
Okay. So how long does this go for?
20 weeks.
So 20 weeks, and afterwards, if you graduate, you're on force?
Correct. You do 16 weeks. Well, it depends department to department, but we do 16 weeks of field training.
Do you pick and choose where you want to go, or you have to go? You're going to Salem. Is that kind of what it is? Okay.
That's who I applied for in graduate. Now we have there's Montgomery County and BMI and Pulaski and Rocky Mount and whatnot.
But you want to go to Salem?
Yep.
Because you're born and bred there?
Something like that.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
So how many weeks do you have left?
15.
So you just started? Did you say 16?
Back in January.
Oh, I thought you've been doing this for a while.
No, I mean, I started last year with Salem, but that's just prior time. Just kind of getting used to the PD and whatnot.
Okay. So when do you find time? So wait. No. So you said this is Monday through Thursday.
Correct.
So what goes on Friday?
Friday's my deload recovery day.
So that's a day off.
Basically, we do PT at the academy. Obviously, it's way different from what we would typically do in the gym, but I just cannot find the time to get to the gym at all right now. So Fridays are either I'm extremely sore or exhausted, or I just have a lot of stuff I have to do. So I typically don't go to the gym until Saturday for one class.
You mean the CrossFit gym?
Yeah, one class.
Shout out Unwritten.
Yeah, Unwritten, where it's at. Coach Lane putting us on some great workouts on Saturday.
Oh yeah, just wait. Do I know Lane? I don't know if I know her.
Maybe she's been at Unwritten for a hot minute. She won the Guardian Games. Scale division Guardian.
Maybe
Games.
if I saw her picture, I don't know if I formally know her then.
Yeah, you probably know who she is if you saw her.
That makes sense.
Formally. Yes.
Okay.
She was at Rail Yard before the change.
Well, is the police? Well, I know you were doing CrossFit before the police academy. So how did your CrossFit career start? What made you join up on the CF?
Oh man, so I was always in sports and everything, and then I quit my senior year of high school.
Did you go to Salem High School?
I did.
What year did you graduate?
2016.
I think I have some cousins that went there, but I don't know when they graduated.
Are they younger than you?
Yes.
All right, throw names.
Gallagher's our last name.
Oh, Gigi?
Yeah.
Dude, I played travel soccer with Gigi for years. She lived like 3 streets behind me.
Okay, well.
Okay, so I didn't know y'all were related, but I saw that y'all were friends on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Chad, and Chad was like, I don't know. I don't really know.
Okay.
But now this makes sense. Yeah, Gigi and I go way back. And Trevor's the same age as my sister, Danielle. They graduated together.
Okay. Well, shoot.
Small
world. Small world.
Yeah, it's a really small world. So, I mean, like, I obviously played travel soccer with Gigi growing up in school soccer or whatever. And then my senior year, I quit soccer. And then kind of things just, like, went downhill. There wasn't really structure because I didn't know what to do with my time after school because literally it was always consumed with doing sports Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of, like, not going to lie, let myself go. And then I moved in with my aunt and uncle who were doing CrossFit. And they were like, you should try it. I'm like, oh no, I was going to work out. But then I just, I really enjoyed it. And then at that point I was at Roanoke and school just got really hectic. So I stopped. And then kind of same thing happened again. And then my friend Catherine Van Orden, she works for the PD as well. But she joined Unwritten because she was at Ignite and left Ignite and went to Unwritten. And she's like, you should come. And then I fell in love with it. And those people at the gym were like really the only people I hang out with.
So what was it? Ignite? Was that Salem?
Yeah, it's like the training facility.
But it wasn't like, they didn't use a CrossFit name. It was just called.
They did. But
They did.
Lost it.
Oh.
Like if anyone from Ignite sees it, they can thoroughly correct me. But I'm pretty sure because that's what I heard through the grapevine.
Well, I don't know anything about it. So they just lost it just out of the blue, or they did something shady, or?
No, I think they just lost it out of the blue.
Oh.
I don't think anything shady went down.
So wait, you said Roanoke. So you went to Ignite, then Unwritten, or were you in Brick House?
I didn't do any. I left Rail Yard, was like just chilling.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Rail Yard.
And then joined Unwritten a few short months after they bought it.
So Rail Yard was Unwritten, right?
Unwritten was Rail Yard.
Unwritten was Rail Yard.
Yeah,
There
same
we go.
location and everything, different owners.
Okay.
And kind of revamped.
Because I think one of the GG games was Rail Yard, but then it turned into Unwritten. Is that right? Or am
I don't know. It wasn't
What, you went around then?
No, I think I left Rail Yard before that happened.
Okay. Well, when did you do your first GG games? We're talking about the Guardian games, if anyone's wondering. GG.
Yeah, no.
Make sure all my sweet listeners know.
Wasn't last year.
We're definitely not last year.
I think it was the year before. So 2019.
Could be. Was that at Roanoke Valley?
Yeah.
I feel like I remember seeing you there.
Yeah, that was terrible. First workout was 33, 30, 27, 24, 21, 18, 15, 12.
Of what?
9, 6, 3. Burpees and pull-ups. Or thrusters and pull-ups.
Ooh. Oh, kind of like Franny.
Yeah, but I couldn't do a pull-up at that time.
Mm.
So I did all the thrusters
Mm-hmm.
at 65, and Kat did all the pull-ups. I mean, we were only 3 away from finishing.
Well, that's pretty good then.
Oh, yeah. It was. I mean, my legs were, shot. Literally shot.
If you did that many fucking thrusters, I'd say so.
Yeah, and then you did your 3 workouts, and Kat and I were like, oh, shit. There's, no way we finished top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So we were out at Lee Ramsey. I don't know if you know who Lee Ramsey is.
I don't know, no Lee.
Oh, well, shout out to Lee, great woman. But she had brought crap ton of snacks. So we're just out there under the tent shoving our face. Nothing anything of it. And they were like, all right, come back in. We're doing whatever. And then they said that we were in 3rd, and we were like, we're really going to
dust your shoulders
be
off?
sick. I mean, no, not really, because we thought we were going to throw up. But it was 2 front squats, 2 lunges, and then you build up 2 times every time. So 4 squats, 4 front squats, 4 lunges, I think. It was
Which workout? This is the second workout?
3rd or 4th. We thought we didn't place through 1 through 3. So we're like, whatever.
Oh, this is the final. This was the final workout. So you're in the top 5 and went to the final. Okay, I'm with you.
And then got 3rd, and we don't know how, but we did it. So
that'll say good. Y'all just say good. All that fitness, man.
Yeah, 12 seconds of fame.
12 seconds to be on the top of a box and get a medal.
Yep. Take a couple pictures. And literally
Get off.
not until 12 seconds.
Next.
You gotta do RX division now. Screw you, scaled people. Deuces.
Oh, I've been in those divisions. Trust me, I know how it goes.
Fun divisions to be in.
That's where I've had most of my best times. It's just because I'm not worried about the workouts, and
Exactly.
I'm just here to have a good time, and that's I don't know. Even in RX, I don't know if I've ever done very well in those.
I think there's just a lot of pressure in RX, and it's just like, even if you could do the RX workout, it's kind of just not worth it.
Well, I mean, I guess was it like you think it's like an ego thing?
No, it's just like a pain thing. It's like a pain
Even the
thing
scaled
at that point.
workouts, I feel like I've gotten trashed. Like, God, that sucked.
Oh yeah, no, I don't disagree. Like
That hurt.
Lane's workout today.
Which I do today.
So 800-meter row for both male and female. And then if you didn't want to row, you could do a 60 cal bike for male and 42 cal bike for females, which doesn't make sense because we just went from an 800-meter row for both.
Yeah.
So like equality and non-equality is how Chad explained it in today's workout. But then it was 5 rounds of 8 push-ups. Like I can't remember, but like you have the the plate and you do a push-up and then you do a push-up.
I know what you're talking about.
So there's 6 of those.
I don't know if YouTube viewers will know what you're. Well, yeah, they'll see that, but anyone just listening.
And then the burpee with a plate, like you did your burpee, flung the plate up.
Like a ground overhead?
Yeah, that
old.
It wasn't clicking. And then 10 lunges with the plate. And so it was like RX was 25-pound plate. And then 12 sit-ups. I think some people did it with a plate, some people didn't do it with a plate. And then 24 dubs or 48 singles.
Talking about double unders, man, was wondering.
Yeah, sorry. You do 5 rounds of that, and then you do the 800-meter row or the 60-40 cow bike. Do those 5 rounds again, and then finish on an 800-meter row.
Damn.
60-42 cow bike.
Did Lane design this one, or do y'all follow a certain program?
Lane does them every Saturday.
Okay.
I mean, I could be really mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it does. And I don't know what program or how it works throughout the week. Like I don't know if we follow a certain thing or what.
So you got to do PT when you're at the academy, right? Mm-hmm. So does it differ a lot from CrossFit?
I mean, it's just similar movements like the sit-ups, but except we don't have the ab mat sit-ups. You just have the concrete behind you.
Get your little booty rash.
I don't even get that.
I don't either, but I hear so many complaints on it.
Same. I do not get that. But what I did get was, like, I was not thinking. I was used to the semi-soft mats that we use at the gym. I'll just flung myself back and, like, bounce straight up off the concrete. It was not a good, like, first 2 times doing a sit-up there. Air squats, hand release push-ups, jumping jacks, squat jumps, I think, and push-ups. We do a lot of push-ups.
Get that chest going.
Yeah, not good. And then we run a lot. So.
Y'all run around the compound or the building or whatever you said you had earlier?
It's like run like anywhere between 1.5 miles to 2 miles, which is like just run till I say stop. And you're like, yes, sir.
So is it a who's the main man in charge? The sergeant, lieutenant? I don't know.
No, there's an academy staff.
I'm not unfamiliar how the ranks work.
So at the academy, it's different because you have like 2 directors, and then you have like the academy staff. Okay. And then, but like departments, so like at our department, we have a chief, a major. This is going in order down. Chief, majors. There's only 1 major. 2 captains, and then you have lieutenants and sergeants, and then senior police officers and whatnot. But like sheriff's offices, I have no idea how the rankings in sheriff's offices go. I just know they're deputies versus officers. I don't think it's too different. I think they have chiefs and majors and captains as well, and lieutenants.
So what's your ultimate goal to come out of this? I mean, do you want to be a state trooper one day, or you going to stick?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Okay. Just join up and see where that road takes you?
Correct.
Maybe be a chief one day?
No. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll go back to school because I'm really passionate about education and the way it's structured nowadays. So could always go back and get my master's in like public policy or something specific towards education and follow through with that just to attempt to change the way the education system works.
You know, in collegiate or going down towards public schools and that level, K through 12?
It'd be public schools.
Yeah.
More so in some of it would start within like kindergarten or like elementary schools and work their ways up, but a lot of it would be focused on high schools, just because I think there's a lack of focus on personal necessities to make a functioning student outside of, or functioning American student, per se. The whole issue is on the American education, but after graduation.
Do you mean, when you say functioning, like learn to live like actual life tells you, besides learning what the angle of a triangle is or something? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, kind of like
Sorta?
that. Like I think a lot of students come out of school not knowing how to balance check. Not that we use checkbooks anymore, but I think it's valid.
Who writes checks?
Exactly. I mean, I love writing checks. I feel so official. But fun fact.
What?
Just like writing it and signing it and doing the zeros or the line with the 2 zeros at the end, and then just like hearing.
Do you take a pen and like dip it in ink too?
I mean, I wish I was that cool,
actually
but I can't even find one.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, but or like how to build your credit, what affects your credit, what taxes actually mean, and just basic human functions.
Yeah.
Like how to do laundry.
Just real life stuff. How to do laundry in
How
college.
many students come out of high school not knowing how to do it, then enter a 4-year and are basically like figure it out on your own, when like we have every capability to teach that in school. It's just like a wanting to put funding there. And I think Common Core, like the whole rigid structure like we were talking about earlier, it does not allow for students to truly learn. And like this is not a hard hit to any of my teachers if they ever watch this, but I'm saying that a lot of the stuff I learned was memorization.
Just memorize, like cram before the test to get it done and over with. And
yeah, like the things that I learned are because I spoke. Like I was able to intervene in conversation, and it was my ideas listening to someone else's ideas and transforming them into what I thought. And that allowed for free space for like the teacher to be a guiding point. Like, okay, here's a broad question. You two converse about it, or the class converse about it and dive deep into it. And I think that's how a lot of people learn. It's hands-on without being hands-on.
No, I agree 100%. That's how I learn best. It's actually like having conversations and doing things with my hands. And besides this, like, you know, I've been trying to read more just because, all right, read, I don't know. I listen to a bunch of people like readers are leaders and stuff. But I was like, all right, I can't read this book. But if I do read a book, I have to read it for like 10 to 15 minutes and my mind goes crazy. But whatever. Yeah. But I found that if I do audiobooks, I do a lot better.
Yeah.
It's almost listening to a podcast. But kind of going what you're saying, that, yeah, like in high school, like I didn't get anything just because I was the type of student, like, I'm not going to go read this textbook or whatever. I'm just going to do whatever I can. But if you actually talk to me and, you know, we could kind of what we're doing now, I actually got more out of that through memorization, or a lot of it is regurgitation, that I can just pick up what you're saying, but then I'll take pearls and gems and, hey, I like what that part is. And
yeah.
No,
and I don't think that is found in education. Like I specifically remember 2 classes in high school, and one was with Miss Kyer, because she doesn't teach at Salem anymore, but she was my IB English teacher. Yeah, shout out to Miss Kyer. Stellar teacher. But like,
what'd she teach?
Would say things. She taught IB English. Or she may have taught career communications as well. But I still refer to things that I learned then, like white in books when in referencing something is typically to represent purity and innocence.
Wait. Right? Is that what you said? Right in book? White. The color white is to represent purity and innocence?
In some contexts. I mean, if you just flat out be like, that's white. I'm not going to be like, that's pure. Like, if a piece of paper is white, it's white. Like, but like The Great Gatsby, for instance. Daisy. Daisies are white. Daisy in the book's pure and innocent.
I never thought about that.
See, like, things that I've
never heard that before.
Yes, and so, like, specifically that, or Miss Brinkley, like I follow her on Facebook, so I'm hoping that when I share this, she watches it. But shout out to Senora Brinkley, like
Spanish
stellar
teacher?
woman, great. Yes, she's the only reason. She is the
Senora?
only reason I graduated high school.
Oh yeah, your Spanish teacher?
because okay, I did not know I was enrolled in like personal finance or economics. No one told me, but apparently it was online. And like a month before, they were like, "You don't finish this class, you don't graduate till August." And Miss Brinkley got word of it, and she was like, "Rich upstairs every day for the last month of high school." She was like, "Get upstairs." So that's the only reason I graduated high school. But she was more of a like, we do an assignment and then we talk about it, or like a repetitive, similar to what you were saying, regurgitating it. Like we said the Pledge of Allegiance in Spanish every day. I can't remember it now, but I do know. I knew it like the back of my hand then. And she was just a quality teacher because she cared more about conversing with you to make you understand than just hammering it in your head for the context of the test. Fun fact.
Well, Senora Brinkley. Yeah. Brinkley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brinkley.
So where do you get your information now? Like, how do you stay up to date on the times, and you learn new things? And
I mean, a lot of it's conversing with people like at the gym or at work, or honestly, and this sounds silly, but social media, like I said earlier, it's not the best of things. But I think you can take a lot of ideas. Like there's a lot of people out there willing to post their stuff, and like you can take that and read that, and like nurses and doctors. Mm-hmm. You're seeing both ends of the spectrum about the vaccine right now. And you just take all that in and you can formulate your own opinion, but speaking with someone about specifics, certain things, like you have to go out on your own to do that. Yeah.
No, I agree 100% because, I mean, I want to word this, that I mean, obviously you could say I'm addicted to my phone along with everyone else in the world. Yeah. But what I'm going at is that depending on who I follow and stuff, it's like, man, where am I getting this information from? Who said this and X, Y, and Z? So if I follow some random Joe Schmo, like the guy who stormed the Capitol and had the hat on his head, and they said he was a struggling actor and he's lived with his parents. And I mean, I might be misquoting that, but I'm pretty sure I read that. But
I mean, I never heard that.
I was like, man, I follow this guy. Like, what does he know? And he stormed the Capitol. I mean, why? Like, I'm getting my information from him. So, but no, I agree. But if you do, I mean, and also that, I mean, I don't want to say fake news and get into this whole conversation, but yeah, it's just kind of like you're reading, like, people would send me stuff, and I was like, I don't think this is true. Where did y'all like find this from? Some mom and pop website? Yeah. Like, but
no, totally understand.
Yeah, so it's more of like, did you hear that? Because I don't really want to go back on politics, and we're kind of straying away from what we were talking about earlier. That like CNN and all these news stations, or their ratings are down because Trump is out of office, and they see that. Yeah, and they have nothing more to talk about. Like,
no, I did see that.
Yeah, because it's like, they focus all their information into Trump and like how he was being a buffoon or whatever you want to say. Mm-hmm. And now it's just like, well, what do we do? There's no more.
Like, who do we talk about?
Yeah, who do we make fun of? Yeah,
exactly. And like and I think politics, and not so much politics, I think the political side of media and like what is involved in the politics of media, like as a subsection, is more so like telling the world about the wrongs. It's like, oh, they did this wrong, they did that wrong, this happened wrong. Like, what the heck? There's never a positive story.
Well, yeah, it's so cool to be negative now. I mean, I don't know if it's, but it's more like that's the focus. Everyone wants to be negative, and misery loves company, and it's so. Fuck that dog. Yeah, well, I hate that dog too. And it's like, yeah, well, why do you hate it? I don't know. Just because you do.
Exactly.
What that dog do to you, man?
Nothing.
Exactly. I just hate it because you hate it.
I think it's like people see like, okay, there's realism. Nothing wrong with being realistic. At the end of the day, you kind of need that. But there's optimism, and you need both. Mm-hmm. And I think optimism is sometimes correlated with to be naive, and that's not the case at all. And I think to be naive is to be silly and to be uncultured, and you're hoping for the best. And that's like not the case. Like, everyone hopes for the best out of a situation, but it doesn't mean you're stupid for thinking that way.
I mean, I agree. You shouldn't be stupid for thinking that way, but I always, I think there was times in my life that I was always like, this is not going to go well. Why am I even going to do this? It's going to be trash. But, if you just reverse the table, I don't know. That's whatever. But it's just like, hey, man, this might actually do pretty well.
Yeah.
Why not? Give it a shot. See what happens.
Exactly. And, like, maybe this is silly and, like, super stereotypic and aesthetically pleasing for me to say that there's always something you can learn out of a bad thing. There's, like, never not a lesson to take away from something.
Well, isn't that how you become successful? You learn from your mistakes?
Yeah, or, like,
ain't that one of the typical
situation.
cheesy sayings?
Yeah, like, okay, like, if someone's parents were to get divorced, there's so many things, yes, it could be traumatic, but there's so many things that a child or outside viewers can take away from that divorce of, like, okay, this is where their marriage may have failed, and this is what I can do, or this is how I can improve, or if they are to move on and get remarried, this is where I can improve in my next marriage. Like, yes, it sucks, and it's sad, but there's always something to take away. And that's just, like, with anything. Okay, I failed a test, so this is how I know I need to study more. Or this is the material that I lack knowledge in. I can go seek this. Or I've learned more about myself and, like, how hard or how I can accept a failing test.
Yeah, I agree 100% that, I mean, that's how we're going back on to how we learn and get our information from, is that's how I've learned, like, okay, that didn't work, so what will work next time? So how can I change something to better myself from the previous time? But, I mean, not everybody's that, I guess, I don't want to say fortunate to think that way, but not everyone does think that way just because they fall into this negative trap and they're like, I got to stay down this road. Everything's just going to suck. And this is how I'm going to live my life. And it's like, no, dude, you don't have to do that. Just because something went bad one time, I mean, everyone's got problems.
Yeah.
Not everyone's life is perfect. Even if you see it on social media or.
It's not.
Yeah. Like just because they're taking pictures with, I don't know, LeBron James or Tom Brady, just because they got one good picture doesn't mean they're living their life that way every day.
Exactly.
So you shouldn't look at it that way.
Yeah. Or I think there's a false narrative going around. And I think along the lines, and anyone, and maybe you can relate to this, and this is where I'm heading with it, is like, if you are in an active sport or, like, for instance, CrossFit, like, you always see people shirts off, girls in just sports bras and their Fleo shorts. And, like, it can create a lot of self-conscious doubts. And I think there's a false body positivity narrative going on. And so I think there's overcompensation in thinking of positiveness or being optimistic. So, it, like I said earlier, there's a twofold to everything. So I think there's a balance that needs to be found. But I also think that having that's not a bad thing, but I think there's too much of it sometimes.
No, I agree 100%. I can definitely relate to that just because, we start working out, like, instantly, like, I'm taking my fucking shirt off.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't care, whatever. But then, like, I don't know if it's just because I've gotten older or started looking at how other people may view things. But if I know, like, James might say, hey, we have somebody coming in new tonight that's going to their first time. It's like, all right, maybe I should just put my shirt back on or work out with my shirt on. Just because, like, what if they walk in and they see some, I mean, even not just me, but anybody just in there with their shirts off, like you just said, sports bras or whatever, going crazy, doing stuff. And, like, if it was me, like, if I put myself in their shoes, like, I'm not doing this shit. Like, what the hell? I can never do this. Blah, blah, blah.
And it's also I think this is, like, taking, like, so many turns you can go on. It's like social media. I think plays a huge factor into it because I know I've seen things on TikTok of, like, guys posting stuff making fun of other people, like openly videotaping them and making fun of what they're doing in the gym, which is, like, not okay. So it creates, like, you don't want to do anything there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like this at your gym, and I would assume it is, but at Unwritten, there is not a day there's not a day that goes by where someone is not supported. Like, I've never, ever heard of anyone having ill will to someone else for taking off their shirt or for girls wearing sports bras, like, nothing. Everyone is so supportive at that gym. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, like, I don't know if that's how it is at y'all's gym, but, like, never in a million years would I ever feel so insecure at that gym that I couldn't. But that's just a small place. And how many miles is the U.S.? Like, how, like, there's
3,000 from New York to California or Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of miles.
And, like, how many people are in the U.S.?
350 million.
Yeah, so there's like, 150 people compared to that.
Yeah, so that's a good thought. So I've learned that a lot of people, care what other people think. And it's like, why do you care what they think when there's, like you just said, 350 million in this world and you maybe talk to 20?
Yes.
It's like,
and like,
have a better circle, man. Who are you putting around you? Well, fuck them who care they're negative and say you shouldn't do this or do that.
Yeah, or like, I don't know. Just like, don't make a comment about someone's body.
Exactly.
You're not a doctor.
And
you're not, like, you're just deteriorating them. You're not actually helping them unless it's out of ill will concern. But if it's like, you shouldn't wear that crop top because it doesn't look good. Okay, well, pause. Honey, I can do what I want.
Right. If you feel
in
good.
retrospect of me feeling comfortable.
If it feels good, do it, right? Ain't that a good life motto?
Not really. YOLO is my life motto.
No, but I was talking with another person at the gym. I won't say any names, but anyway, but we were by ourselves, and somehow I forgot it. We kind of got similar to what we were talking about right now, but I said something. Well, if somebody fat shames me, and I know you're not supposed to do this, but if somebody fat shamed me, I use it as motivation.
Yeah.
And other people don't, and I understand that, just because of whatever your environment you grew up in or how we all went in different lives. But for me, it's like, fuck you, dude. That's motivation for me. I'll show you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's fuel for me, and other people don't see it that way. And I can understand why they don't see it that way. But like how we've been saying, like you got to reverse the narrative, and you got to reverse like, hey, all right, if that's what you're saying, I'll show you. And like then when you come out, plus if you get the results you want, you get addicted. Like, man, fuck me, this is cool now.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I shouldn't just flex like that, but I was getting fired up.
It's okay. You look great, sweetie.
No, shit, don't make me blush.
No, but it's also one of those things where it's like so hard. Like, what is it? You're your worst enemy.
Oh.
Like you could sit there and tell yourself a million times over that you look great or that what you can do. Like I know what my body can do, whether it looks like I can do it or not. I know what I can do. I don't have to explain myself to you, but it's a seeking validation of it. You kind of want people to be like, ooh, she can do that. Or like, ooh, he can do that. But I think society has like formulated us to having to like show off our accolades or show off what we can and cannot do in the gym. But like, why? What does it get us? Like, nowhere. It's a false sense of confidence and validation. You
get those sweet likes on Instagram or Facebook, and like they're dopamine hits, and like I like them. I mean, I'm guilty as charged because like, ooh, Hannah liked my photo, Hava, But where was I going with this? That you shouldn't like be doing it just for like I'm doing this just for social media. You should be doing it for yourself, and that and a lot of people like I'm a huge overthinker, like huge, like like starting this podcast, like even like when I first started CrossFit, I was like, I ain't doing this shit. This shit sucks, and like I'm just gonna go.
I look ugly doing this.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna go do some bodybuilding stuff and just walk around and take a couple pictures in the mirror and leave.
Yes.
Do that. What's up, girl? Just finish my workout. But I mean, you gotta if you really, really want to do something, you just gotta fucking do it. And
exactly.
Some people are like, I get it, you're scared, you're nervous, but if you really want to, I mean, it doesn't have to be CrossFit. If you really want to lose weight, if you really want to, I don't know, get better at politics and learn, stay up to date with that, read a book. I don't know, you can do it. Anybody can do anything they want to do. You don't have to listen to what other people say. Just fucking do it.
And I think that's the hardest pill to swallow, but at this point, like I'm kind of at the point in my life, and I'm like, if it makes me happy, it makes me happy, and if it's in a sense that's not harming myself, then by no means should it bother anyone else.
Right.
And if those people don't support me, then there's means of other people to support me. And like, you're never gonna fit into every group. That's the sad truth of it. But why fit into every group when you can be so unique in your own that it's more valuable? I
agree. Not everyone's going to like you. And just because you might want them to, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter what you do. You can do everything you think is perfect in life. And there's going to be some asshole out there like, nah, that ain't cool.
Screw you.
Yeah, exactly.
Screw you.
Exactly.
It's not worth it. I mean, there's plenty of other things in the gym or at work or just in your day-to-day life that you could do to make yourself more happier. Like, for instance, I like to post, I would like to post more funny stuff of myself just because I find humor in laughing at myself, and I hope people find humor in laughing at me. Like, that's great.
Well, that's like I said earlier in this conversation, that when we first started talking through text or whatever, I was like, man, this girl's cool. I like it just because Liv Moss, baby.
Exactly. Like, it is what it is. I really have no comment. Like, what comes out, comes out. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah, and that's fine. That's the way it should be. You shouldn't be neglected just because of your right to free speech. If you want to say something, say it. Then if it offends somebody, well, then get out of here. Get out of the room. Leave. You have your right to leave. Or if you, like,
think I'm childish. Okay, like, I do have a childish sense of humor. I'm not going to lie. Like, a lot of things saving me right now are wearing masks because I laugh at a lot of things that I should not laugh at, but I do it anyways. Okay, like, move on.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? Got it. Good. But, like, I just think people can be like, ooh, like, she's not up to date. Or even, not just with me, but anyone, like, oh, she doesn't do this. They don't do this. Like, okay, maybe I do in my free time, but, like, it's social media. Seek joy in what I'm posting. Like, if you find laughter in it, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Like, my cow sucking my fingers post. I was never supposed to be serious. I don't know if you saw that.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't sound familiar, though. So maybe I didn't see it.
I mean, it's been a while. Calves like to suck fingers, so posted a picture.
I know about that. My dad was a dairy farmer. Not that, like... So when I was little, like, you know, we'd go through the calf barn or whatever, and he was like, yeah, put your hand out there, and they would grab onto it.
And, like, it was a funny
sounded kinda
post.
creepy.
Of course I'm going to make it. And I think my caption was like, some people ask what life after college is like. Well, I let calves suck my fingers today, so you tell me. Like, just something like that. And, like, if people laughed, good. I'm glad it wasn't meant to be serious. Like, I'm dying, like, so I'm letting calves suck my fingers. No, that's not the case. I don't know. That's just how I perceive life.
Well, yeah, exactly. If you don't like it, there's an unfollow button on social media if you don't want to see what I post.
Block me.
Yeah,
don't talk to me. I don't care.
Exactly. Who am I to you? If you don't find joy out of it, whatever.
Exactly. You're doing us both a benefit.
That's one thing. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
That's one thing. I went down through one of my lists one day, and, you know, I was guilty of following all these celebrities and models and stuff, and I was like, What joy is this bringing in my life? Get this out. Like, you know, they'll never follow me back. I'll never get nothing out of this. And, like, it felt really good. It was just like...
It did. I mean, I've done it too, so that's why I say it.
Okay, good.
I don't know what
I think Chad turned me... Shout out, Chad. I think he turned me onto that.
Chad's just, like, the winner of all wins tonight.
I mean, what a great guy. I mean, damn.
He is stellar, dude. 10 out of 10, dude. I mean, knew he was something special from the day I met him.
Oh, me too.
I mean, she's like up there, top tier material.
Yeah. No, he came over to the house last night. We watched, do you know Rough and Rowdy?
He told me about it, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, so it's basically, well, actually, there's a cool story that Chad's got hands. I've never seen him personally, but you know what I'm saying when he's got hands? He can.
Like he can fight?
Yeah.
Oh.
So so I asked him about this next time you see him. But so
I have questions coming for you.
Okay. So anyway, there was a Rough and Rowdy through Barstool Sports, and it's all, for those who don't know, it's amateur. Like, if you wanted to go fight Hannah up there, you could fight some random girl they would put you up against. And so, like, so Chad was telling me back in his heyday that, you know, he had a couple fights and stuff. And so their Rough and Rowdy was going to be in Charlotte. And I think, was this a year or two ago? It was before the vid. So maybe it was 3 years ago. He was still in Radford then. And we were hyping him up like, hey, man, we'll go down to Charlotte with you, man, if you want to enter. I think each winner gets $500.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's not bad, but it's also like, was it worth this? Maybe if I get my nose broke and don't even win, or is it an ego booster, or what is it? But anyway, Chad, you should go down here and fight it. And anyway, we just ended up watching on TV, and he never went. But it was, man, we were trying to push him to go, and just I was like last night. He was in West Virginia. The fight was like, man, we could take you up there, man. If you want to fight, you ready to go?
We could have made it work.
Yeah. So
it was a quick drive.
Yeah, like, Chad, I got you. I'll drive us, man. Yeah, see you fight, man. Let's roll, bro. But anyway.
I mean, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see Chad fight.
Might be a mean dude.
I definitely think he could, like...
He might be a mean dude. No, this is actually... You can't, I don't know if you can drop some bows. I think it's actual boxing rules, and...
Oh, that's so fun.
You can't be
doing...
doing...
Where's the chair when you can smack?
Yeah, you can't do, like, WWF or E now.
Pick up the
chair. Random stuff like that, but...
Whatever.
But anyway, I thought
resources, use them wisely.
But anyway, I was like, Chad, this could be you out there.
Like, hey, YOLO.
Yeah, we could be your gang sitting in the stands just yelling at my
Yeah.
boy like, Chad.
I mean, his afterlife, he'll totally regret it. Chad, this is our vote to you to do it.
Next Rough and Rowdy, Chad. We're calling you out.
I'll donate $5 to the cause.
See? But
Maybe a
anyway,
little bit of gas
you said you had some questions based on that?
on the fight.
Yeah, or Chad.
Like, how do you get into that? Like,
I guess you just sign up. I mean, I think you just put your name in the hat, and if you get picked, like, all right, you're fighting this dude.
Okay, but also, when did Chad have a few brawls
I guess in his frat boy days.
with other frat boys?
I guess not his. Yeah, probably. I mean, not his own crew. I guess, but yeah.
Like rivalry frats.
I was never in a frat, so I don't really know how it
I don't know
works.
how they work either.
But yeah. I mean, you go to a party and you kicking back some beers, and all of a sudden, there's always going to be that one. All right, so screw Chad. But anyway, going back into college and stuff, there's always this one guy. No matter what party you go to or what, there's always going to be some asshole there who decides to show his ass and.
Yep.
Like, oh, I drink too much tequila, man. I'm supposed to fuck this guy up. Like, why? What did he do to you? I don't know. Fuck him. Like, what? And you're going, I mean,
the little devil came out in you tonight, but like, put it back.
You know,
don't fight.
And sometimes I don't get it. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I drink too much tequila, or it was whiskey that makes me mean. And I've never gotten that argument. I'm used. I mean, myself, I'm a whiskey or tequila kind of guy, but. I mean, just because you drink tequila now, you're mean?
Yeah. Or, like, if you know that's the case, don't put it in your mouth.
Yeah. Maybe you're just a mean person. Did you ever know that? Maybe you're just an asshole.
Has this happened on numerous occasions? Because I think you just have an
inner it's like, but there was times in college, it was like we go to this one party, and there's a party, and there's always this one guy. Like, had to show his ass. It's like, dude, the whole party's ruined now. Nobody wants to have fun.
Yes, exactly.
Everything was cool.
And then you ruined it.
Yeah, now just everyone's got to leave.
Like, yep.
Everyone got freaked out. They're gone.
Like, those people can just walk out. Like, just leave.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of get it, but I also was like, either way, no matter what I drank, I was always felt pretty rough in the morning.
Yeah,
tequila.
I had my fair share of experiences as well.
Yeah.
I think anyone that drinks, there's no way that you've never not had a bad experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just, because, all right, going down this road, let's go down this road. So, when I came from a family that, so my parents were divorced, and I've never seen my dad drink at all. And I may have seen my mom may have had a glass of wine, maybe once in my entire life.
Like, they didn't drink, or like you just didn't see them?
They just didn't drink. So my parents got divorced, I think it was 3 or 4. And my mom was just never a drinker. And, my dad, I only saw him every other weekend, and there was never any drinking going on down there. But when my mom got remarried, even my stepdad, he used to be a drinker, but he just gave it. He was just one that gave it up. So I just never came from a family that I didn't know what drinking was. That's where I'm going from. Yeah. So my first party I went to in high school, people were drinking. They're like, hey, man, you want a beer and stuff? And I was like, yeah, I guess. I'm going to be the cool guy here and drink some beers.
What is beer?
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. I was like, I hope I like this. And of course, I was like, oh, God, this sucks,
That's terrible.
Yeah, but I also knew, all right, you're not supposed to drink and drive and blah, blah, blah. And, but, that was one good moral my parents invested in me that, if I do get hammered drunk, they'll come pick me up and all that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I never knew how much I could drink and stuff. And I remember, one of the first couple times getting hammered. I may have been 17, hammered drunk off, I think it was vodka and beers. And I was just pouring me shots and getting sick that night. Woke up with the worst. And I was like, fuck, this is what it's like.
Oh,
I just never knew. And, I think that's how a lot of people kind of get in trouble and don't know, maybe even get alcohol poisoning just because they've never known.
Yeah.
Like what you can do with alcohol, how much you can drink, and is it England that can you drink an 18 in England?
I think it's 16.
Is it 16?
I think it's 16 in I know it's 18 legally, but I thought there was something where you can drink at 16 in the confines of a household with a parent.
Okay. So that might
be wrong. And you're
Well,
like,
this is how
"Well,
this
no."
podcast works. We just kind of just go off whatever our head tells us, and we work up. We look up the facts later. And like, oh yeah, shit, we were wrong. But fuck
We're
it.
wrong. Like, so don't quote. This isn't an education.
Yeah, but anyway, if anyone has a
Website
problem
us.
with it, they can email me. That's fine. ShelarFever@gmail.com. But yeah, that was what I'm going. It's like, I was just like, all right, yeah, just keep giving me stuff. I'll keep drinking it. And I didn't know how my body was reacting. I didn't know, what I was feeling. I was just like, oh, this is fun and cool. I'm the cool person. And then all of a sudden,
Exactly.
1 a.m., all of a sudden I'm puking my brains out and wishing I
Probably should have gone to the hospital.
yeah, it's like maybe I wish I would have known what I was doing. And then it just kept going down that road, and it was almost like, hey, this is the cool thing, is just to get as drunk as you could be and puke at the end of the night and say you had a good time.
I mean, it's idolized. Like, you hear stories. I mean, like, I'll tell a story about a specific time in my life when, like, I probably did not make the best decision. And, like, my family laughs about it because they all know about it. So, like, whatever, it is what it is. But the amount of people that idolize that lifestyle, like, that, it's crazy. It's, like, not healthy. But, like, going back to the parents thing, my parents drank. And, like, not excessively. Like, they enjoyed their stuff. And they would always go to Salem after 5 and stuff like that. And my family drank, but it wasn't, like, insane amounts. Like, we knew what alcohol did to you because our parents taught to us. But our parents also never, like, swayed us from not trying it. Granted, my sister and I never really drank at all. My sister doesn't drink now. I mean, I kind of do after I turned 21, or, like, even in college. But now I'm just like, well, whatever. Haven't had a drink in 4 months. Not because I don't want to, just I don't really
Like why?
find the
Like
time
what's
to.
the point? Or just
Yeah, it's just like it's not my first thought to have a drink. I don't know why, but it's not. But, like, our parents never, like, deterred us from it, and they were never like, hush hush, like, ooh. No, they were quick to be like, you don't drink and drive. Similar to what your parents like. You need me, call me.
yeah.
But, like, this is a no kind of stuff. I think that goes back to, like, a conversation we had earlier about helicopter parents and, like, sheltering them from things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I'm Lutheran. I grew up in a Lutheran church, so, like, we drink wine on Sundays. Granted, it was, like, this much, but, like,
And eat the crackers.
sometimes
Ain't that how it
crackers.
was? Like
Yeah, sometimes it's crackers.
you drink
Catholics
you drink the
use
blood and
crackers.
eat the.
You dip the bread in the blood.
That's what it is.
Something like that. I don't know. I always got grape juice because I'm like, I'm not being sinful. But at one point I was like, whatever, deuces. I'm repentant church. I'm in the Lord's name right now. It's fine. That's kind of what went through my head. But I mean, I think it's not a topic talked about much. So
I agree 100%. It's not.
until you get it, until you experience it, and then it's like, oh, I drove home drunk. Like, you did what?
Yeah, like that's not
Like,
cool, dude.
Exactly. Like, I think people think it's cool. Kids in college think it's cool, and it's not. Like, good thing about Roanoke's campuses, though, everything, it's like a block wide and a block in length. So, like, you can go anywhere and you'll still be in 5 minutes walking distance from your destination.
Nice.
So, like, you never really had a need to Uber or to drive, much less everything was walking. And
Yeah.
that's still not the safest thing, but it's the best.
No, I agree. I mean, we didn't have, when I say me, or we, my friends and I, we didn't have Uber until, I think I remember the first time, it was after college.
Yeah.
And we finally, this was probably post 2009 when I graduated from Radford. And my buddy moved to Charlotte. And so we started going down there and partying and hanging out at the bars and stuff. And it was like, oh, we can just get an Uber home. No big deal. And it was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it used to be the big conversation, who's driving tonight, whatever. But and it was kind of the same way, even pre-college. At Radford, like you could walk anywhere really you wanted to go as long as you didn't mind walking, like 10-minute walk to the bars or whatever. Which is how big is Roanoke as far as like let's go like student wise?
2000.
Okay, so Radford was roughly 10 when I was there.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure it's expanded since.
Well, it kind of dropped actually.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
well, I mean, it's not fallen off a lot, but it has fallen. but I still had friends that would I had a couple friends. I mean, I'm not gonna say names or anything, but they got some DUIs, and I was like,
yeah.
I mean, it's not fucking worth it.
Yeah, no.
Like, why don't you just? And one of them was like, went to go get a pack of cigs, and I was like, dude, just fucking walk over to 7-Eleven and get them.
Yeah, I I think for bigger college towns, I mean, granted, Salem's pretty small, and Roanoke being in Salem, it's not that much of a need. But I think it'd be like a huge impact for a lot of departments to enforce like safe side rides on like Fridays and Saturdays and Thursdays. And it's not even for like college students, but like for anyone at any of the bars. Like if someone's at McBob's and they're like, I can't drive home and I don't want to get caught, so let me call this number, just in some way, shape, or form connected to the police. It's like, I need a ride home. Okay, you're safe. You're taken care of. You're going to get a ride home. Handle your car in the morning.
Yeah.
But I don't, like, that's an allocation of resources and funding that goes along with that. And, like, what? So there's, like, reasons why it doesn't happen, but I think the thought and the idea is there.
Do you know who Bert Kreischer is?
I do not.
So he's a comedian, and he has a podcast in which I listen to a little bit, and probably every week. But anyway, going back on what you were saying, safe rides, that he went to Florida State and they had something of that nature, that he was actually a volunteer for this, and that he would give ride, like, you know, if you called up somebody, hey, we need a ride to wherever, and they had the service, they would come pick you up, and this was probably before cell phones were big and whatever, probably about during college, whatever, and you had a fucking Motorola Razor and stuff, and like, you would send a text or call, and like, we'll come get you and whatever, and take you wherever you need to go. So I mean, and it was almost an Uber, but it was free. I was like, why not? Why not use that service? I don't know if he got paid or how that worked out as far as all that stuff, but he said, man, it was one of the best times I ever had, just being sober and driving around drunk people and having a good time. And so how he said he got into hip hop music just because he was listening. You know, he'd drive a couple of black people around and they'd be like, hey, let's put in this. I'm like, okay, cool.
And that's how he figured it out?
Yeah, that's how he's like, oh man, who is this? Like, I like listening to this type of music.
That's interesting that he's really open about that experience, but like, hey, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean it's kind of hard, like, to beat Uber and Lyft nowadays, but still, I mean, I guess if you just said, hey, we'll give you be an easy side job to do for somebody around, hey, we'll just go within this vicinity of campus, and anywhere you want to go, we'll come pick you up.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't see what the issue is.
Yeah, just use it.
But, I mean, I understand that there could be issues like funding and
like you said, funding and allocating, but I mean, hell, just use a state car, and just as long as you sign an agreement, hey, you won't be drinking and driving and whatever, we'll pay you this X amount of money to do whatever.
Yeah, or even if like the colleges were like, hey, you're on campus and you're doing this at like campus localities, hit up this number and we'll have someone come and pick you up.
I mean, some
free.
Campuses might do that. I don't know. But I don't know of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, something that I've done research on, just heard of local schools.
But I do know that I've read that a lot of younger... How old are you?
22.
So even younger than you now, students or kids, whatever you want, children, I don't know what the word is.
Imbeciles.
Imbeciles. Kids and their rock and roll nowadays and drugs. Anyway, but they're not wanting to get their license anymore just because, hey, I'll just pay for a Lyft or an Uber. Like they're prolonging their getting their license. For me, it was like, oh man, I cannot wait to turn 15 or whenever it was I could get my learner's permit.
It's an independence thing.
Bro.
Like, I can go out and drive on my own, parents.
But
leave me alone.
I think it was, I guess I could see it on their side of things too. You don't have to buy a car and pay for maintenance and everything. And especially if you live in New York or a big city, it's probably costs a couple bucks to go anywhere you want to go. But growing up in Southwest Virginia, it's not really that case.
Exactly. No, I'm getting my license. I'm getting a car.
Mm-hmm.
We're going, even
like
if it's 5 minutes down the road. I went. My parents didn't come, and I did it on my own.
I'm driving.
Screw you, parents.
Yeah. I don't need you and your rules.
Exactly. I do need gas money, so we can talk about that later. But, like, the time being, right now.
I'm going to my job at Taco Bell, Ma. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I make $100K. Don't come at me.
Yeah, I'm making 6 figs. I don't need you.
I do need a place to live, but, like,
I'm
not emancipated from the state yet.
I'll be back later, though.
We can act like this conversation.
Yeah, I was just playing my I love you.
I still need that grocery money.
Yeah. You fixing dinner tonight?
You told me I couldn't use the microwave anymore because I caught on fire. I actually did that.
Oh, shit.
I I did that and was banned from the microwave for a few days.
You
But aluminum foil.
put aluminum foil in a microwave?
Yeah, no one told me.
You didn't get that lesson growing up?
No, until I was like, how old was I? Maybe like 12. And I heard a snap, crackle, pop, and a nice little explosion. I was home by myself with my sister, and all you just saw were the burn marks. And my dad came home, and he was like, when you get your first name and your middle name, you know you're in doo-doo, like deep doo-doo. So
The
I
doo-doo.
got, Hannah, bro, you cannot use the microwave. That's when I learned. Aluminum foil, not in the microwave. I wish it happened sooner in life because I was thoroughly embarrassed.
Well, you eventually got to learn. So you learned.
Lesson learned. Took a deep punishment, but lesson learned.
Oh, well, it'd be like that sometimes. That's what I hear.
Sorry, parents. Kind of. Microwave still worked for like 3 years, like 4 years. Like,
Well, as long as it's still working. I mean, it's not like they had to go out and buy a new one, right?
Exactly. Pretty sure I probably would have had to buy it, but it still worked all the way up until the time we moved out.
You're fine, Mom and Pop. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I'm sure. Like, my mom would light ticks on fire when she was a kid. Sorry, I wanted to light the microwave on fire. I don't know what to tell you. Different circumstances. We don't have many ticks in Southwest Virginia.
Oh, man.
And I'd love to put a tick in a microwave just to see how that would go down, but
An actual tick?
an actual tick, a live tick, just put it in there. Would it explode? Would it do anything? Would it turn into like the Hulk with all the radiation? I don't know. I'm sure we could see a lot of great things come out of that.
You might just see an exploding little mini bug.
We put like a bunch in there. It would just look like.
Wait, why did this happen? How did y'all even collect this many ticks?
Well, we didn't. I'm just saying I want to see this.
Oh, you want to see a bunch of people. I was like, how did this happen?
Yeah. My mom used to light ticks on fire. She's from North Carolina.
I've always
So they
heard of
would find
that.
them on their dogs.
My stepdad used to do that to his dogs.
Yeah. I never experienced that fulfillment of being, what is it, an arsonist and lighting ticks on fire. So I decided to light aluminum foil on fire in the microwave. But I want to try ticks in a microwave.
You got to grow and learn sometimes. You just got to let children be children, man.
Yeah.
I don't have any children, but I guess that probably is not good parenting. And I don't know, but you just got to let them do them.
Go ahead. Light the microwave on fire.
You got to
Let's
let
see
them
how
learn
you
their own
solve
mistakes, you know? And hopefully that you can do something one day to replace it. Like if they broke the microwave, all right, we'll go get a new microwave. No big deal.
15 push-ups and we'll be clear. I mean, but like at the same time, kind of like a side note, how many of the kids nowadays have stories like that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because
Tell
they're
me.
always on their phone.
I don't know. Hit me.
Like, I don't think any kids do. Like, I remember driving my pink Barbie Jeep down the driveway. We had a pretty steep driveway, and like I couldn't really drive, couldn't grasp what the steering wheel did, so I ran over the curb, and like my sister and I ate a big chunk of cement.
Like a battery-powered Barbie Jeep?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a Batmobile when I was little.
No, I was pink Barbie. Like
There's some pictures running around somewhere. I should find those.
You should. I would love to see those.
Call
Post
me-
them to the gram.
Call me Bruce Wayne.
Oh.
No, the
No.
bald head don't
Work
work.
on the voice. Work on the voice, and then we'll get there.
Oh, well, maybe I should work on the hair too.
I mean, chia seeds. I don't know,
Chia seeds.
like the chia pets that you.
Oh my goodness! But no, speaking of that cell phones, and I still am guilty of this. But anytime I'm like watching a movie with people or eating food, like I try to keep my phone in my pocket or like turned over and probably 60% of the time I do pretty okay without having to look at it. But I'm just, man, I got to stop. Like, I'm actually interacting with people now.
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
It's hard. It's really hard, especially when everyone else is doing. It's like, well, maybe I'll just check Instagram too.
Yeah, and like the one thing, like we don't use our phones during the academy. Like you can use it on break, but we don't keep them in the academy. And like, I really enjoy that. Like just being able to talk. And that sounds silly, but like
No, it's not
we
silly.
didn't grow up on phones, and so that's not okay. Obviously, I'm a very outgoing person. Like
Extrovert.
I think you've kind of picked up on that. So I really like to talk with people, and like I can't really act myself through a freaking phone because some people don't get the humor.
I agree 100% because you send a text and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I didn't mean it that way, bro.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, calm down.
Exactly. Or you got to add like a lot of emojis, and I don't have time to search for the emojis.
Like, I thought it was
You
cute
get
and
it or
funny,
you
but
don't
apparently
get
you
it.
didn't think so.
Exactly. Like my facial expressions are like you get it once I do them. So like phone's really down that different. That's why I like FaceTime. Like if I can't see you in person, I want to see you through a screen essentially. But that's why I like the academy so much because I really get to talk with. I mean, there's only 5 other girls and 34 other guys, so conversing with those people like face to face, really great. I think a lot of people need that in life.
Have you heard the argument that? So, do you know the stereotypical view of like an alien, like a big head, a small body?
Yeah, but I thought they had like ears.
Well, they might. Oh, it depends, I guess, which version you have. But where I'm going,
which version?
Yeah, whichever one you're looking at. But what I'm going with is that, because people are staring at their phones so much and not having actual, conversations anymore, that we're going to be going to where we're silent, and we're going to where almost all the machines are using or doing all the work for us. We're going to have slender bodies and big heads because we have big brains, but yeah, we won't be talking or anything. We'll just do everything through, what is through, you can speak through minds. You can read each other's telekinesis.
Telecommunication.
Kinesis?
Sounds cool.
Okay, but anyway, yeah. So you don't need to actually have verbal communication anymore. You can just do it that way, and that's why people are saying, like, well, when people view aliens that way, that's the way our civilization is going towards. If you believe in aliens and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the generation after me, or like a few years after me, they do not know how to hold a conversation face to face.
It's hard.
Like, obviously, I told you prior to this that I was nervous just because I don't really know how you're going to react to what I say. I don't know how I'm going to react to what you say.
Yeah, but this is the whole point. Like, I like this
reciprocate.
stuff. Like, I want some good debates, and like, I want as long as it's civil. I don't want to get like we were saying earlier, like, well, fuck you, Hannah, for saying that. You know, like, all right, that's what you think. That's cool. That's fine.
Exactly. Or like basic human conversation. Like, hey, Chris, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
You reciprocate. Like, people don't even, like, kids don't even know how to do that. And it's like, they're so antisocial. And like, how are you going to function in a workplace? And I think COVID, not saying that COVID's like, I mean, COVID sucks ultimately, but COVID has had a lot of detrimental things, or has done a lot of detrimental things to people. And I think a lot of people have lost what human contact is like. And like just the emotions that people can portray face to face versus like through a freaking keyboard. Doesn't do anyone any good. It's just like basic human functionality. And we start that with kids at a really like a superficial young age. Like, here's a little iPad to shut you up at 9 months.
Yeah. No, I've seen that. Like, some parents just give their kid, like, hey, go watch this and go sit in the corner.
Yeah, use duct tape. That's how you can.
Yeah. Use duct tape.
All jokes. Yeah. I never recommend
duct tape
that.
this iPad to your hands. Go watch this movie. Leave me alone.
Yeah, or your mouth shut. I don't care. I don't. No, all jokes. But like, I think it's just kind of like we start them at a young age. And I'm not a mom. I don't know, but this is what I've seen.
Well, I concur. I don't have any kids that I know about. Knock on wood. But but no, I agree. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. This is Monday morning quarterbacking right here. I don't think I should be giving anyone advice on kids or anything. But me looking on the outside in, I don't think that's the way to do it or how I would do it. But what do I know?
There's a lot of things you can get from the outside looking in. You can just see. You turn a blind eye when you're on the inside in some way, shape, or form. You have rose-colored glasses on. So, I always would take outside opinions. But I just think, like, I mean, I have a 2-year-old sister, actually, as well. So, like, I have voiced my opinion about refraining from using technology with her other than a TV. Just because she'll become so codependent on that means, and so will the parent. The parent will become, like, my dad would become so codependent on that technological device to, like, hush her up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what does it really do for anyone? No one. Like, not.
It just
not
gives
no one,
some people a
nothing.
temporary fix to have some peace of mind or be quiet or.
It's the new high. It's like a new high. And like I will truly admit that I'm on my phone a lot. I am. And a majority of it is me on TikTok. And like it makes me laugh. So like I'm okay with it. But that it has not taken away from my ability to be able to converse with people any less. If anything, it's heightened it more because I will say stupid TikTok references and it just creates a more conversation.
Because people get it and they relate to it.
Yeah, or they don't get it and I explain it and then we just segue into other things.
Yeah.
Just because I grew up in being taught like you converse. And my mom always said that I speak to people in public, which is true. Like if you're with me in public and I know you, I'm gonna say hi to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or if I see someone and be like, "Hey, how are you? Like, how's the family? How's work? Whatever." It's just a respect thing, and that's something my parents always taught me to do. My parents do it, so. But I don't know how to like not say hi. Like,
Well, that's good. I mean, that's bold of you. I mean, because like you said, you're an extrovert, but there's a lot of people who, if they go out in public, they're I'm just gonna sit over here and I'll have this
like,
beer and
you better say hi.
I'm not going to go out my circle here. I mean, I can relate to that 100% just because, I probably had social anxiety and
Yeah.
stuff like, oh, what if they hate me? Oh God.
Like, I mean, I have social anxiety going to the grocery store. So what if my parking spot's gone? I don't know how to park anywhere else. Like, I know how to turn, at what angle, what speed, when to use the brake into this one parking spot. Any other parking spot, nope, we're done. I don't know how to do it. But like, also don't want to embarrass myself if I hit something. Like, not that that's happened, knock on wood. But there's
Take out the curb.
It will happen. Oh, I hit the curb all the time. Like, I will gladly admit, my right passenger tire and the curb are very friendly with one another. Like, it's just something about turning right that my right front tire is like, doink. Like, just attracted to it, I think. I can't help the attraction.
That fucking right turn, man.
Time.
Gets it, man.
I don't think people have the same problems that I do, but like that's a problem.
I don't think I've ever experienced that, but
I mean, you're missing out. Knocks your
I
alignment
don't think
out.
I'm missing out.
Because it knocks your alignment out, and then when you go 60 on the interstate, your steering wheel goes. You're really missing out.
I feel like I might be a little scary situation. I don't want to be going on the interstate like, is your steering okay, bro?
It just adds a little like zh to your life.
Oh,
always keeps you awake.
Yeah, living on the edge a little bit.
Kind of.
Yeah, what's going to happen? Are we going to reckon, or we're just going to make it there?
Like are we just
gets
slide
that
off?
adrenaline rush.
I mean, it really is. Like, whatever happens.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, I kind of agree there, but I don't know. I don't think I want to experience this, but
YOLO.
Okay.
That's my motto.
Okay, I can see that.
It's a means of doing everything in life.
Well, maybe we should end on that right there.
Probably.
That sounds like a good conversation or a good ender right there. YOLO, just, everything in life.
Basically, kind of. Have some, like, refrains, like YOLO.
Depending on the situation, huh?
Yeah, like, don't go dive into, like, an acid bath because of YOLO, but, like...
Turn into the Joker?
Correct. But, like, go buy that t-shirt. YOLO.
Yeah, just treat yourself.
Yeah, YOLO. Go buy that new car. Go skydiving. Get that tattoo. Get that piercing. Whatever.
If it feels good, do it, right? Go back to that.
Maybe we should end on that note.
No, wait. Did you say you had tattoos or no?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think you and I have had this conversation before.
Yes.
I'm working on mine, hopefully. Okay.
Yeah, you should get one.
Well, like I told you earlier, hopefully next stack I get put in my bank. Yeah. Like, well, I'll spread this out in the economy. Get the economy going through tattoos.
Hey, you're not cheating the stock market, so we're good. Plenty of other things.
That could be another thing down the road, maybe. Maybe that might be the way I should go. Get a quick bank.
Just know the government has a lot of powers, man.
Oh, I've been. I don't want to go down the road in the stock market, but there's a lot of stuff. It's like Wizard of Oz, a lot of stuff going behind the curtains.
Oh yeah.
And that's the reason I'm hesitant on this whole getting into the stock market, especially now that they figured out that some people can work it the way they were.
Yeah. So don't be a chess player.
Oh, okay. Well, only play chess if it's a real chess, not the stock market, right? It's almost just like gambling. So.
Yeah, which is like illegal in most states. So I don't really know how like.
Well, the VA just approved it. When I say VA, Virginia, we can gamble on FanDuel. FanDuel. Did you know that?
Nope. I'm not a gambler. I don't
I
know about it.
I grew up around that.
I'm not much of a person to be like. I mean, we did watch horse racing, so I would like guess, but I never bet money on it.
My family loves horse racing.
I don't trust my instinct on which horses.
It's like, who has the coolest name? All right, I'll pick that one.
Yeah, or like blue's my favorite color. Or
Yeah.
number 3. Number 3 is my favorite number.
Mm-hmm.
Number
That's
3
how I
always
do
seemed
it.
to
Like,
lose, though.
I don't know. I've never become a rich man off of it by any means, but I've never really bet a lot either. Usually my experience is I was too young to really. I could go there, but it was like, you can't. This dude can't do anything. Just let him sit there beside you.
Correct.
All right. Good job, Uncle. Go bet a good horse. I'll sit here, pick that one.
I'll rub the dice for good luck.
Exactly. That was my
Good luck.
experiences. But in the times I have bet, like, I don't know if you heard the last conversation with me and Chad, but I bet on the UFC fight and lost that. So, dude, just a loser.
Maybe not.
Nah.
Maybe not again. It was like $5 here or there.
Well, that's not bad.
I did win like $125 when I was in high school off of the Super Bowl, figuring out their score.
Did you get into a pool?
I didn't really know. Yeah. I just guessed numbers. And I was the closest. And so I got $125. And I was rich.
Well, yeah, 125 is a lot of money. Remember back
In
you
high
get a
school,
part-time
you
job,
know,
you make like you have like a couple hundred off a paycheck. Like, fuck yeah, I'm rich.
Dude, I can buy me some clothes.
Yeah, I blew all that shit on like car stereos and shit. I remember that. That was trash.
Buy a lot of Crunch Wraps.
Oh man.
That's all I know at Taco Bell.
Is that Taco Bell your favorite restaurant?
No.
If you had what's your favorite fast food?
Chick-fil-A.
Ooh, you can't beat Chick-fil-A.
Or Popeyes. Oh,
I've never had Popeyes.
My sergeant got me on Popeyes, and if he watches it all the way through.
Yeah.
He just got me on this fixin', and like I'm low key addicted. And like I can't stop having it every Sunday.
Is there Popeyes in Salem or Roanoke?
There's 2 in Roanoke. One on Melrose, one out near Marshall's.
Maybe I should go up there and check it out.
I recommend I get the spicy chicken sandwich. I don't do spice, but this is the only spicy thing I'll have. Spicy chicken sandwich with fries and a Dr. Pepper. Every Sunday like clockwork.
Oh, man. Well, I never had it, but I don't know why. Just because I've never really known there's one around. So
Exactly. I never had it until like November. And my sergeant was like, "You never had Popeyes, so we'll go to Popeyes." And now I'm addicted. And it's his fault.
all right.
But that's it. That's the tea.
Okay. Well, maybe it might change my course. Like, I've been a McDonald's guy, but I do love some Chick-fil-A.
Ooh, I can't do McDonald's. I watched Super Size Me.
I don't. Yeah, I agree there, but that dude took it to extremes. I mean, who eats McDonald's every meal? Like, literally.
No, but it's not, the chicken is made out of puree.
Okay, it's so good. When it just hits your lips.
It's
so good.
I'm out. Tap out of this one.
All right, we'll end it on that one then.
Of the McDonald's conversation.
All right. Well, we'll take it on Popeyes, Live Moss. That's how you should live your life.
YOLO.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Peace and blessings.
Okay. Well, good news and good night, folks.
That was a good one.
I like that one.
I
Okay.
do too.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Anytime. Bye-bye.
I mean, it's my treat, but like, whatever.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.